Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee cast featuring DoW2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you, calling the shots as always, and as you can see, we're once again on Greentooth Gorge. I know I've been repeating maps recently, but man, no wonder this is one of my favorite one-on-one maps because it is just a constant source of solid matches. Always good replays coming from this map. And of course, tonight's replay, a very awesome game brought to you by the Vahalla Campaign, put together by those over at DoW2Elite.com. Be sure to check it out. It's a great way to find players if you're looking for people to play Elite mod with. They have it organized by skill level, and it's nice, easy, no-pressure games. You can just find some people, hook up, get some games going, and earn some points for your side, either order or disorder. It's organized by which race you play. And if you actually score enough points, there's actually prizes for the top scorers. I have Horace, known also as Alexander Begg, actually is putting up some really nice miniatures. He paints armies himself, so I think professionally he does commissions and things like that, I believe. And just some really nice stuff up for grabs if you're interested. So if nothing else, check out the campaign. It's lots of fun. It's, like I said, a great way to find players to play with right now on the Elite mod. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at our players. A pair of refutable players, very top-notch here today. On the blue side, we've got Mr. Rise as our bright pink Chaos Sorcerer with that sword held on high and that wicked new helmet in his Elite mod. Tricky, nasty commander. And then Dark Riku with an evocative commander choice for those of you who remember him and follow his replays for a long time. Playing the Apothecary. Riku always known for some solid Apothecary play. Recently been playing more Force Commander, but I'm excited to see him bring his nasty Apothecary back to the field and kind of get that unstoppable ball of Space Marine going. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Of course, Apothecary coming with his heal out of the gate. Not very strong in melee, but an awesome support commander. Kind of along the same lines as the Sorcerer here to start, except the Sorcerer is going to be blasting Doom Bolts here out of the start. Instead of healing up, he's going to be dealing out the long-range damage along with his melee disruption. So looking at starting builds, it's kind of identical so far. Chaos Space Marines and Tax for the respective sides. Second squad of scouts coming up for Dark Riku. Pretty standard. Generally want that second squad of scouts for some capping power. And later on, especially against the Sorcerer, you really want to have some shotguns or something like that to keep the Sorcerer at bay, keep heretics at bay. Of course, in Elite mod, we've also got Raptors and things like that to deal with, so having the extra scouts around for support, definitely a good choice. We can see Rise going straight in for the VPs out of the gate here. A couple VPs right now going to him. Of course, the scouts get the quick cap. Gonna knock a couple VPs off, but that's gonna leave Rise with the VP advantage here coming up shortly. Sorcerer decided not to engage the Apothecary in his attacks. Kind of how you see this match start out, as you see the hero running around with attacks. Of course, gonna start dishing out some damage, and as soon as those attacks take any kind of beat, the Apothecary is gonna heal him right up. Riku deciding that the Apothecary is gonna take the Sorcerer on his own and get the cap. Here comes a Doom Bolt right on top of those attacks. It's not gonna matter though. Passive healing are going down on them. Nice looking special attack though, knocking the Apothecary back and might net himself a kill if the heal doesn't go off, but it doesn't, and the Sorcerer is going to have to get out of there nice and quick. In the meantime, scouts trying to hold off, hopping in and out of this garrison, it looks like, trying to pull these heretics in and stop these Chaos Space Marines from getting the cap. VP's kind of changing hands rather quickly here. A generator down for Rise and bringing some Raptors onto the field. Always great to see Chaos Raptors, a unit, of course, exclusive to the Elite mod. And Raptors will be bringing some jump troops onto the field. Of course, playing Apothecary, I almost guarantee that Dark Riku will be going for some Assault Marines of his own, so we're going to have to see which of those two jump squads pulls out ahead and does the best for its respective army. Anyways, Riku's kind of gathering up here. That's exactly how you want to play it in these kind of early engagements. Kind of go out, cap around, let your scouts stall while your Apothecary and Tax deal with either a hero or a squad, and then kind of ball up and push them on out of here. A lone scout goes down there in that engagement. Apothecary trying to snag a confused Chaos Space Marine there on retreat, but it looks like he's going to get out of there. Here come the Assault Space Marines, but the Apothecary is way out of position. That's not where you want him to be. You never really want to have to waste that Apothecary heal on himself. He gets knocked back by a quick special attack. Raptors knocking him all over the place. And he's going to just barely get out of there with his life, it looks like. In the meantime, Tax getting scared into their garrison by Rise. Rise might want to consider getting himself some grenade launchers, as the garrisons are so potent in this map. Although it looks like he's not going for a second Heretic squad, so it's kind of a mixed bag whether or not you want those grenade launchers or whether you should keep them melee and go for the Aspiring Champion to help you with these kind of inevitable Assault Space Marines. And here goes the first jump from the Chaos Raptor. Raptors obviously suppressing here on their jump. They suppress for 3 seconds after they land. Knocking attacks all over the place. And by the way, the Raptor models have been updated recently. Take a look at these Raptors as soon as I can focus on them here. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Looking pretty sweet, all those kind of two giant jetpacks. Pretty cool looking models, if I say so. Excellent work from the Elite mod as always. Nice looking Doom Bolt right there. Probably would have killed a scout if there had been a third one in that squad, but there were only 2, and they were pretty healed up, I think. One squad of scouts, it looks like, the ones still on the field getting themselves their shotguns already. Chaos Sorcerer has his Sword of Flame, which makes him really adept at annihilating scouts. He can kind of just take a swing or two, and those scouts will burn to death. Aspiring Champion on the Chaos Heretics, so a pretty reasonable power investment so far from Rise here. Both players with full up power farms now. Taking a look at tech, Rise is a little bit ahead. Of course, Riku got himself the Assault Space Marines and some shotties. Doesn't look like he can get anything else yet. Oh, he did get himself his Purification Rites, which will knock back anything he heals, either himself or on allied units. So that'll really help him deal with the Heretics, the Sorcerer, and the Raptors as well. So the majority of Rise's army melee, so that upgrade Purification Rate is going to be very effective. Rise been doing a good job of keeping capping going. Really has Riku kind of a little on the Rexstar side. And wow, Rise actually bringing some Noise Marines onto the field, which is kind of surprising. Pretty heavy tier 1, I feel like, from Rise. Obviously getting the Raptors Aspiring Champion on his Heretics, Flame Sword, and now some Noise Marines as well. I guess really going to try to put some pressure on Dark Riku here. And I mean, if he could get a big push here, he can probably push that power farm and wipe it out pretty quickly. He's down by about 100 VP, so he needs to do something to kind of force Riku off for right now. And kind of even out these VPs as we start heading into the tier 2 phase of the game. Apothecary, again, a little out of position, just pops his here real quick, knocks him right off, and doesn't have to worry about losing any HP on retreat. In the meantime, Scouts returning the favor, decapping most of those rear rec points. Noise Marines getting engaged in melee by the Tacticals, and they're going to have to pop their cacophonous sound right now if they don't want to lose any models. And there it goes, and perfect. This is how you want to do it. A lot of people kind of use that cacophonous sound just to kind of get units off of them, but it's so much more effective if you have something that can keep firing while whatever unit is off the back, because otherwise those attacks wouldn't have had to retreat. They get knocked down, but they're not taking any damage. And having those Chaos Space Marines there to kind of scare them off really does the trick. So both players heading into Tier 2 almost at the same time. Riku's about a quarter of the way ahead, so he's going to get there about 15 or 20 seconds ahead of Rise. That's about it. In the meantime, Noise Marines doing some capping. I really feel like these Noise Marines shouldn't even bother capping. They should just be heading right down here to the power farm of Dark Riku and just harassing away and forcing Riku to react to something like that. Because right now he's pulling the entirety of Dark Riku's army way over here. So if he just sent these Noise Marines down right now, he could probably tag a generator or two. But it looks like this offensive is going to be short-lived. Rise is going to get pushed off here almost certainly. Yeah, there go the Heretics, and now the Raptors need to get out of there as well. Apothecary getting upgraded with the Anointed Power Axe, something I don't see very often. But against the current composition of Rise's army, pretty excellent choice. Of course, that Power Axe does drain energy on hits, so that'll slow down the Chaos Sorcerer's offensive spells and keep those Raptors from getting any extra jumps in. So once Rise puts those Raptors in, once he sees this axe, he's going to have to realize that wherever he throws those Raptors, that's where they're going to stay. Because they're not going to be able to get that second jump in once the Apothecary gets a couple swings. So he's really going to have to be sure about where he puts and commits those Chaos Raptors. So grabbing one generator, got the node, might get a second generator. Here comes the assault jump, already upgraded with the Sarge power sword on those ASMs. They can probably hit the sound and knock those guys over right here. Losing a single member, getting the cap, waiting for it, stalling, trying to head for that garrison, it looks like, and there goes the cacophony. Unfortunately, the attacks are there to continue pouring fire in. Activated their Kraken rounds there, those red bolts you see flying into that heavy armor for some nice bonus damage. And forced off the map. In the meantime, Rise continuing to try to drain. On Dark Riku's power income. Let's take a look here. We see we already got the Aspiring Champion here with that nasty Lightning Claw. Look at that thing. Don't want to be messing with that. Those Power Melee, of course, doing some very excellent damage, and a Blood Crusher forcing Riku off the field as soon as it appears. Riku, Tier 2, kind of spent a lot of his early Tier 2 power on upgrades instead of bringing any Tier 2 squads on the field. He does have a rocket launcher. I'm sure his assaults are getting themselves some Melt-A-Bombs here shortly. But in the meantime, just going to let those tanks hang out and fire some rockets. Blood Crusher is going to cost Riku at least one more generator right now. Assault Ranger coming in. They are researching the Thunder and Lightning Melt upgrade, which does research a good deal more quickly than it used to. Both the rocket launcher and the Melt-A-Bombs used to have a very long upgrade time, and that was reduced a bit in the Elite mod to kind of make sure Space Marine can't be so easily bossed around by these kind of early vehicles, because it takes so long for them to get their easy upgrades. Anyways, Chaos Sorcerer falling back. Got a nice little push there. Got a generator. Beat up the second one after that initial gen bash from the Noise Marines. Noise Marines might be getting upgraded later on here to their Blastmaster Cannon, which gives them an artillery kind of feel. Turns them into a setup weapon that can fire long range and knock units over. Blood Crusher getting healed up by some worship and hidden back here as well. Chaos Space Marines going to the Mark of Siege, which is going to give them some really heavy anti-infantry damage. Gonna have to be very aware of your scouts and things like that once those siege bolters come on. Sergeant on the scout spots those Noise Marines, and excellent use of the cacophony here, knocking pretty much all of Dark Riku's army down to the ground. Gonna try to force off the Apothecary early, which is exactly what you want to do. Stopping those scouts from using their ability. Noise Marines targeted the scouts, and you would think that's not necessarily the priority. But while those scouts are getting hit by the Noise Marines, they of course can't use their shotguns or grenades. Dark Riku realizing and calling the abort on that offensive right there. Getting pushed back by it. Just excellently placed. I love that play. Using the Noise Marines up front near the worship and then just knocking down the whole army. And looks like the Noise Marines are going to claim themselves a few more generators here. Librarian coming out. Which I think is an excellent choice. Tons of heavy infantry armor on the field, and that Librarian will also aid in attacks with Veil of Time being able to take on this Blood Crusher, allowing that missile launcher to close in nice and quickly. Good fake out by the scouts, waiting for the jump and then retreating. Those Raptors were in the retreat path. They probably would have tagged a scout model or two had they been forced to retreat through it. In the meantime, man, look at these Noise Marines just really paying for themselves here. Keeping the Apothecary down, buying time. Apothecary drops the heal on himself. The Assault Marines are still ready to jump in. These Siege Marines are going to have to retreat pretty much as soon as that jump comes in. Rise is trying to force him to stick around, though. He knows not to use that jump right yet. He knows as soon as he does, all they're going to do is fall back. And Rise heading into Tier 3 actually now. Apothecary also been upgraded in the meantime with his Armor of Purity, so that'll give him a bit more or a bit lower cooldown on his heal ability. Meantime, Librarian taking some shots, wasn't quite paying attention. It looked like a little unnecessary damage on him. He returned the favor though with a nice smite those Chaos Space Marines a quick bit of range burst damage. That plasma damage does lots of hurt to them. And it looks like they may actually be very fortunate in escaping with all of their models. Right, Riku has to be careful pushing in here. Yeah, he realizes it at the last second and falls back. Had he pushed in a little further trying to pursue them anymore, he would have gotten knocked down by the Noise Marines again and then probably follow a charge from that Blood Crusher, and it would have left him in a very unfortunate position. Sorcerer right now trying to harass some tax. He's going to need to get out of there. Surprised we haven't seen the tome of teleportation on this guy. I forget, not the tome of teleportation, whatever wacky 40k over the top name it probably has. And a big engagement happening right here. A huge melee affray. Everybody's just punching each other. Apothecary has to fall back, and that leaves these Assault Space Marines a little stranded. Of course, it looks like the aspiring champion might go down, but the Assaults pull off the charge just in the nick of time. They probably could have finished that off, but instead choosing to engage the Raptors, and now jumping out, gonna try to put some hurt on this Blood Crusher. They drop the Melta Bomb, and it's gonna be in trouble as the missile attacks are right here. And oh man, look, the Chaos Raptors actually with a new upgrade here. Look at that ball on that aspiring champion. Oh my goodness. That is not friendly looking at all. That's the Demon Maul. Let's see what that does. Gives the Demonic Fury ability. I'm actually not up to date with my Elite mod. I'm not sure what that does. But it also has a passive knockback on it, which is pretty nice. A nasty looking weapon. I don't want to be anywhere near that thing if I were to space. Raptors fall back though and decide to pull out before they lose any models. Noise Marines again getting some more power from Dark Riku. Rise really keeping the pressure on. Dark Riku has been stuck in tier 2 for a while, which is right where you want Space Marines, where you can keep them there. Blood Crusher trying to get a generator, realizing it's probably best to just head out now before those Assault Marines drop a Melta on his face. And the Librarian uses the Veil of Time on those attacks to finish it off. So, Chaos Predator coming onto the field now for Rise. Riku needs to get something out here. It looks like he's saving up for tier 3. I kind of feel like a Dreadnought might have been a good choice before this Predator was purchased, but of course now with that tank coming out here, not going to be a pretty good investment, I don't think. Although all things considered, a Melta Dread with a missile launcher and Melta Bombs on the field would probably be an excellent choice. Sorcerer, while I was rambling, got knocked down there, as you saw, kind of caught out of position. Riku took the opportunity and pounced him. And in the meantime, he's heading into tier 3 finally here. 214 to 251. The VP has kind of been just changing hands back and forth here pretty consistently. Great squad preservation from everyone so far. Pretty much full armies coming up here. Once Riku gets himself something in tier 3, we're going to have pretty much be seeing what's going to be on the field for the remainder of the game. Missile attacks already getting caught out of position and engaged here. There goes the heal, though. Those missile attacks really need a Sergeant, I think, at this point in the game to kind of help deal with these melee threats. Once they can pop a Space Marine, knows no fear, they'll really be able to kind of mitigate that melee damage. Raptors realizing they're a member down and against full assault squads, not going to be able to hold right there. Librarian been staying kind of out of the scuffles, really. Been using him very much as a support unit. Haven't seen Veil of Time or anything used too much yet to kind of keep those attacks out of trouble. In the meantime, Rise is trying to cap everything. Got the Noise Marines on this side of the map to once again harass the power, and it looks like Riku recognizes that, sending the Apothecary over to deal with that. And here comes the Predator. Just as the Melta goes down on that Blood Crusher, that's going to be it for the Blood Crusher, but now there's a Predator in its place, and that'll free up a little space for Rise to maybe purchase something else. So good prediction by Rise, knowing that the Noise Marines weren't anywhere in the battle, and knowing that they were going to be pushing that power momentarily. And this bright, flamboyant pink tank here, surely a symbol of chaos, probably going to start blasting away some power. Or maybe just go over here and engage the Apothecary and keep him away from these Noise Marines. Scouts coming up, trying to get a grenade, it looks like. They're going to take a couple shots and at least lose 1 or 2 models here. Nice nade! Oh, but the Noise Marines just barely get out from under it. All the scouts go down except for the Sergeant right there. Missile attacks with Veil of Time on them, however. Chaos Predator needs to start moving out. Dark Riku getting his Predator onto the field as well right now. He did lose one of his scout squads somewhere. I'm not sure where that was. Let's see if we can spot the corpses of those poor guys, but it looks like they went down. And it's still anyone's game, 158 to 144. It is a triple cap against Riku, though. He needs to get some map and hold it here. Once that Predator comes out, it's going to be a much easier thing to do.
Chaos Space Marines.
And we sort of have a quick armistice right here, while both players kind of regroup, gather their forces. Riku's getting his tank and moving his armor up onto the field. Sorcerer finding himself out of position once again, but capping the requisition point right in front of Dark Riku's base. Rise sitting with the entire map right now, been doing a great job of holding map. Chaos players tend to say that map control is their weak suit, and Rise is really making sure that that's not the case in this game. 110 to 144. I really feel like whichever of these Predators goes down first is going to determine the game. Oh man, look at these Raptors. Oh, there goes the special strike. I'm not sure what that was called, but that's from the... Oh, Demon Hammer, but the Librarian, combined with a direct missile shot, takes out the Raptors. Oh no, Melta goes down on that Predator with a Laspred coming in from Riku. It's in dire straits right now. One more shot from that Laz and it's going to go down. That might be the game. Riku pulling it out here in this last engagement. There goes the Chaos Predator. Oh dear. This might be... Oh no. Oh, this is a true victory for the Emperor in this engagement, folks. Apothecary and Librarian getting knocked down, but I think it's already a bit too late. Tex just narrowly getting out from under that Doom Bolt right there, and the last Noise Marine turned to bits. Sorcerer drops as well, and Rise is down to a single squad. Invested everything into that engagement, and the machinations of Riku have punished him greatly for that. Oh my goodness, a Chaos Land Raider Phobos coming onto the field, but it's just not going to matter. I don't think Riku still has a full army, and Rise lost practically everything. He's got some Chaos Space Marines onto the field, and Imperial Abyss going down on scouts, netting him another quick squad kill right there. Riku very happy with his last engagement, not hesitating to call in some reinforcements. Drop pod there, of course, an elite mod will allow him to keep reinforcing so long as that drop pod beacon stays active. Of course, it has vehicle armor and 500 HP, so a lot more difficult to take down right now. Riku's just locking down the middle, 111 to 80, and that Land Raider's going to come out and try to do something here momentarily. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough with a Laspred, rocket launchers, and of course those Meltas hanging around somewhere on those Assault Space Marines. Those Raptors jumped in, tried to get some kills. I don't know if you saw, but they took a rocket to the face from these level 3 tactical Marines. And it just didn't work out from Rise from that point on. So Rise going to have to be very frugal at this point in the game with all of his requisition. If he wants to stay in the game, he's got enough to bring some ticks on the field. He should probably just buy some heretics and send them over to that side of the map. Land Raider's heading in on its own right now. Oh man, and it's just going to be a sad story, I think. It looks like everything's moving in. Riku's not hesitating to just take it out first thing. It's trying to deal with that Predator. But man, just too much anti-vehicle fire with the scouts repairing that as well. That's going to be the game, I think. There goes the last of Rise's army. The GG from Rise. GG from Dark Riku, and what a game. Oh, it was so neck and neck up until that last major engagement, and that just shows how keeping your head in those big fights makes all the difference in the late game. I honestly feel like Rise was giving Riku a solid run there, and it actually looked pretty rough for him there, but man, Rise just kind of flubbed it on the last engagement, and his entire army got obliterated Tactical Marines and Dark Riku's Apothecary taking the day. And look, actually, they kind of changed the Apothecary. If you didn't notice, the Apothecary had a nipple armor before, and I don't know if any of you are fans of Batman and Robin, because you shouldn't be, but that's where infamous nipple armor, I feel like, became mainstream. So the Apothecary realized, better go back to the old Death Skull and Wings there. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the game. What a game it was. Riku bringing that infamous Apothecary play back to the forefront once again that we have not seen for so very long. And don't forget to go over to DoW2Elite.com and download that Elite mod. I implore you to do it and play some Valhalla games. Anyways, feel free to subscribe, comment on the video, comment on my commentary in a bit of a yo-dog situation. Anyways, I'll be catching you guys next time.